I was looking at both their lineups.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. That's a drill. They literally just did a. They literally just did a drill right in front of our eyes.
A very short list. I was looking at both their lineups.
No dribble. No dribble.
One great passer, one great playmaker.
Back.
I was looking at 1 through 5.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had another a super tip. I really got to learn the name of these things. I think it's a super tip. I had another request to check out this video here from Uncut, and this one is titled "Accidental Basketball Ruined the NBA." Now, this is going to be interesting because this is a topic I like to talk about quite a bit, and in fact, I'm shocked, and so is Wolf, who sent the donation, that I didn't react to this video. I'm actually kind of shocked I didn't, because this is right up my alley and something I've been talking about for a little while now. And it was interesting because I was already feeling this way. Then I saw Kobe Bryant talk about literal accidental basketball and how basically it's just, he's just not a fan of the way, especially Americans, were playing basketball professionally these days. And either way, we'll get into it as it goes along. But yeah, I'm excited about this one, you guys. So I'm going to link the original video from Uncut Hoops down below in the description, as I always do. And I'm ready to get to this. So guys, there's a list of channel members down in the description as well. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all. If you can do me a favor, hit that like button. Heck, if you got them, hit that hype button on this one, because I think this is an important message. So, all right, guys, you ready? Let's rock.
It's like these players now play accidental basketball, and it drives me and Phil crazy because it's all penetrating pitch. You may make the shot, you may not. You have no idea who's going to be open or whatever. It's accidental basketball. We play basketball with purpose.
The game of basketball is pretty simple if the ball's moving.
Sure.
Now, the point guard can do whatever he wants to do. Instead of dribble from one side to the other, back and forth. But he's an initiator, and if he gets that ball moving, that ball's moving, everybody feels a part of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it ends up, because it's always going to end up to the best player. You know? Sometimes that always happens.
Yeah.
But
Ball has energy.
That's right, and you get that ball moving, and good things happen all the time. It's a pretty simple game if you play it the right way.
Yeah. Or, I mean, it's not necessarily it always goes to the best player. It goes to, like, the best option. Who's the most open? The ball moves like that so fluently. That's what I loved about that old Celtics team.
When it comes to the greatest team...
And then I also, sorry to cut off on cutting his first words, but it also plays into... like what Kobe's talking about with Phil Jackson is what he's referring to. The triangle offense is the opposite of accidental basketball. It's constant movement, constant rotation. This is your option. All right, now we're going to swap out. Here's a new option on the triangle. You know, and then you move the ball to the right side of the court. Okay, here's your new option. It's very, very intentional basketball.
When it comes to the greatest teams in NBA history, many would look at the 2017 Warriors, 01 Lakers, and especially the 96 Bulls, as all those teams were historically dominant and great in their respective era. Now, like most debates, looking at the greatest teams, greatest players, greatest anything, it is very, very subjective and opinion-based. But looking at all those teams, if you love team basketball on both ends, great passing and defense, there's two teams historically that personify both those traits. First up, 2014 Spurs, led by Tim Duncan, and secondly, the Boston Celtics in 1986, led by Larry Bird.
Until now, Celtics running. They have a chance here. 4 on 2. Bird to Parrish.
It's more effective offensively. It's a bad shot by Moncrief.
I mean, dude, it's so intentional, and you could also say, like, no one out there is stat padding. Nobody's even paying attention to their damn numbers. It's just about getting the best look. It's about winning the game. But in the process of the offense, it's just about rotate the ball, best look, scores.
Not that way. Boston 2 on 1.
Bang.
Webb is back.
Right back.
Bird is on Lloyd now, doubling on Sampson, and takes the ball away. 3 on 1 for the Boston.
Perfection.
It is.
If you want to talk the greatest passing teams of all time, the 86 Celtics 2014 Spurs on a very...
By the way, that's why we run those fast break drills. You know, growing up and training in basketball, we do these fast break drills where you're not supposed to even dribble the ball. Constantly passing back and forth between 2 or 3 people in the motion of a fast break. Like, there's a reason for it, you guys. Like, that's the way the Boston Celtics played, and it was beautiful.
Short list. I was looking at both their lineups.
Look at this. That's a drill. They literally just did a drill right in front of our eyes.
A very short list. I was looking at both their lineups.
No dribble.
One great passer, one great playmaker.
Back.
I was looking at 1 through 5. All their players are capable passers who can make the right play at any moment. And for a team like Boston, who are they led by? Larry Joe Bird, debatably the greatest passing forward of all time. Off the bench, you have Bill Walton, one of the greatest passing bigs the game's ever witnessed.
Yep.
He was special.
He was. Those damn knees, man.
When you look back at this Boston team in '86, they had the prototype of the 2014 Spurs. And compared to the modern era, where it's dribble, everyone watching, last minute pass for an assist, they make it or they miss it, the 2014 Spurs '86 Celtics, everyone is involved, getting touches, and capable of making a highlight play. Now, speaking of highlights when it comes to the Celtics, their biggest highlight, biggest peak was Game 5 of the '86 semis versus the Hawks in Boston. This game historically is never talked about, but watching the film in the third quarter, it was absolute brilliance. Boston for the quarter, 36 points. The Hawks only managed 6.
Wow.
Third quarter, they make history.
Finds Parrish.
Nice pass. Beautiful feed. Nice. Oh, man, contested.
About that quarter.
No foul.
He described it as the perfect quarter of basketball.
When our team really wanted to and really had to, we were so special.
Still by
It was a thing of beauty.
I mean, that's what made the rivalry between the Lakers and the Celtics in this era so great. They were the two least selfish teams out of the league. Best flowing offenses out of the entire league. Everyone's sharing the ball.
What does Mike Fratello do? He just called a bunch of timeouts. He just ran into a tsunami, and we just wiped him off the face of the earth.
It just took all the life out of the Hawks.
It was like we were stuck in mud, and they put on a clinic in that quarter. They really did.
Playing them at times,
that's a good way to put it. It feels like I'm stuck in mud.
Go somewhere else, and you couldn't go there. You know, you knew your team couldn't go there, and it was a humbling experience.
Mm-hmm.
So stopping that right there very quickly, the third quarter Game 5 versus the Hawks, to me personally, is the pinnacle of team basketball.
It is. And that's why whenever, it's rare, but whenever we come across a complete team like this, it's hard not to root for them. You know, like I struggled with that with the San Antonio Spurs around in the 2000s. And I became a fan of theirs after 2010 because the Suns run was over. So we were no longer really truly rivals. And I started really appreciating the Spurs, man, because that type of intentional, unselfish basketball is just, it's a joy to watch. It really is. And like, you know, it's great to watch individual stars do their thing, you know, do crazy things like an Allen Iverson or a Melo or a Jordan or a Kobe. But it's way better to see these guys with a complete team playing unselfish basketball. And like, you know, with Kobe and MJ, we got to see that with the triangle and that implementation. But yeah, it's just special when you got this type of chemistry. 04-05 Pistons, I put you guys there too, because that was a joy to watch them play basketball.
I was looking at the offense, outrunning the fast break, making great passes, making the extra pass to open teammates. And on the flip side, vice grip defense in the paint and on the perimeter.
2 shots right on line, and both of them have bounced around the rim and just have more options on their offense.
Bird again. Reach in. No changes for the Celtics. Dominique.
What the hell, dude? Bird with the weak side help.
Blocked by
dominating.
Bird. When the Hawks look like they have an opportunity to run, suddenly there's 4 white shirts back there. Blocked by McHale.
It was everything that was great about the 1986 Celtics on display in full force for you. Pace, rebounding, shooting, scoring, and again, defense. If you want to go back and look at what the 86 Celtics were all about, call up that third quarter, because that was it in a nutshell.
The only 2 teams in the so-called modern era who could lock you up on one end and score 35 plus on the other end were the Golden State Warriors and San Antonio Spurs. And like I said earlier, this Celtics team was the prelude to all that. And just like those teams, they could take a 10-point game, push it to 20. Take a 20-point game, push it to 30, and rest the entire fourth quarter.
36-6, huh? Wow. lowest points in a playoff quarter. Yeah. Scored last 24 points in a quarter. Ran off 7 straight field goals. Shot 13 for 21. Beautiful. Holding the Hawks 2 for 19. Out-rebounded them 18-7. We're led by Kevin McHale, 16 points. Unbelievable.
Entire fourth quarter. That two-way dominance, great team two-way dominance, is a lost art for teams, especially in the 2020s. And looking at Boston on defense, the entire Hawks roster, abysmal shooting top to bottom. Out of the entire roster, not a single player over 33% shooting for the quarter, and no single player had more than one made field goal.
Huh.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Now, for some more context, the Hawks this quarter, only scoring 6 points in the third quarter.
I mean, they're trapping the hell out of them.
Is the lowest mark ever in a single quarter in playoff history. The second lowest, ironically, Boston versus Atlanta 2016 in a first quarter where they only scored 7. Also, some very important context, 2 made field goals in a quarter is tied for the fewest ever, and the field goal percentage 11.1, the 5th worst ever in a single quarter in NBA playoff history.
He's going to give you everything he has out there. He's just going to run the lanes and hit the boards.
He did everything right. He just got blocked. Oh, he went into the double. Bad move
by Parrish.
Bad move, Concac.
22 straight points for Boston. And nobody wants to.
Okay, that was a good look.
For this Boston team 4 years later, what everyone always goes to is a great offense and great team passing, and rightfully so. But looking at their defense, equally as dominant and equally as effective.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like most of their points came from fast breaks, so that is initiated by the defense.
As Boston 86, first in defensive rating, first in rebounds, first in points per percentage, and third in points per game allowed.
Crazy.
And looking at their roster, the spearhead of their defense, Dennis Johnson.
And that's how you know they're not doing what they're doing nowadays, where they're bombing threes on fast breaks. You know, you get a three on one fast break and you just shoot a 3 like a dumbass. So first in defensive rating should equal first in field goal percentage. Why? Because it should be an easy layup 9 out of 10 times.
Points per game allowed. And looking at their roster, the spearhead of their defense, Dennis Johnson, one of the greatest defensive guards of all time. And behind Dennis, what they were anchored by is guys like Walton, Parrish, and even Kevin McHale. Scoring this team in the paint was virtually impossible. In the perimeter, things weren't much easier. Now, looking past Boston's great defense at their offense, in this quarter, they didn't just score 36 points to close the quarter, a 24-0 run, on record the biggest run in playoff history. Much like the 2014 Spurs 2016 Warriors, everyone on Boston was a willing passer who could make the right play. As looking at Danny Ainge among shooting guards, 7th in assists. Larry Bird for small forwards, ranked 2nd.
Who the heck was number 1?
Power forwards ranked 3rd. Walton among centers was 9th, and Parrish among centers was 10th.
And to be fair, Walton was coming off the bench at this point. I'm 99% sure during that whole season. So to be 9th is still crazy.
Out of the entire...
And considering that the starting center was Robert Parrish at that point, considering Walton got more assists off the bench than Parrish did as a starter, that's incredible. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Pretty sure I'm right, though.
Boston starting 5, the only player who wasn't top 10 assists per position was Dennis Johnson. And Johnson overall for the NBA ranked 21st, which is 2nd on the team, only behind Bird. When you have great passing 1 through 5, 1 through 6, the forwards, guards, and centers, that takes you from a great team to an all-time great team. And this Boston team undoubtedly is an all-time great team that would thrive in any era.
Where did that pass even happen? Hold on.
This Boston team undoubtedly is an all-time great team that would thrive.
Jesus, Bird.
In any era. As looking at their play style, they could shoot, post up, had great ball movement, could run the break, and above all else, were unselfish. If you want to watch great team basketball, great passing, making the extra pass, and not a lot of ISOs, watch the Celtics, Spurs, and Golden State Warriors. As looking at all those teams, it was me over we, the team over individual success. So that right there is the end of the video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
Always, man. Always. Great video. Go check out Uncut's channel, you guys. The link is down below in the description. Yeah, it's what to say about accidental basketball, man. For one lifetime, I've seen enough fast break 3-pointers. I've seen enough. I don't need to see any more. I've also seen enough ISO penetrate kick out for 3, like Kobe was saying. I'm so sick of this. Screen. Just like, I'd like to see a structure again. And I know what you guys are saying, like, yeah. This is the structure now. But I agree with Kobe, where I feel like it's still accidental. You're not getting a look that you want. You're just eventually you're getting somebody who's open enough with enough clearance to shoot a 3. And guess what, you guys? Up until recently, that was always considered the last resort shot. So according to what we're getting now, statistic-wise, analytic-wise, we're getting the shot we want the least all the time. Now, you can make an argument that, yeah, that's intentional, and I get it. That's what the data says. But since when does data rule a sport? Since when does data rule how you play a team sport? I don't really care for that too much, because guess what? That's not what the Celtics were thinking. And 10 years ago, that's not what the Spurs were thinking. They were playing good, intentional basketball the way that a lot of us think that's how the game should be played. And they were winning while doing it. So all of this, like, 3-point chucking, penetrate, dish out, pop the 3, step back 3s, with a lot of with the defense right up on you. I don't feel like this is good basketball. I never have, and I also feel like it's boring. And I also, the most important thing is, this might work in a regular season, okay? But when it comes to the playoffs and the defensive intensity picks up naturally and the referees start swallowing their whistles, which does happen in the playoffs, so you got way more physicality happening, you ain't getting those 3-pointers off. And if you do, they're way more contested, you're way more uncomfortable. The odds of going through an entire playoff run and winning a championship without hitting a cold run where you guys can't hit 3s. Think about like the Rockets with Harden, They lived and died by that 3-pointer. And that was the dumbest thing I ever watched happen in front of my eyes. Change the damn strategy. You're missing like 23s in a row. Maybe let's go for a pick and roll or something basic. You know what I mean? Let's go for a 2-pointer. Let's go for a mid-range. Let's do a pick and roll out of you for a dunk. Something. But the analytics said no, keep bombing the 3. So, yeah, I don't like this accidental basketball. I don't like the hero basketball, or like the straight up just ISO basketball all the time. I've noticed everywhere Kevin Durant goes, like, except for the Golden State Warriors, except for them, because they weren't going to change anything for the guy. But outside of that, everywhere Kevin Durant's gone, they had to throw their offense out the window, and it became accidental basketball. What do I mean by that? Watch, even better example with KD was him with the Brooklyn Nets. Watch him and Kyrie. It's your turn, my turn. Your turn, my turn. There's no actual structure. It's just, hey, you're a good ISO player, you figure it out. All right, next play, I'm a good ISO player, I'll figure it out this time. That's not a system, that's not an offense. And that's why when I hear people like James Harden say, I am the system, that stuff pisses me off, dude. Because, like, you watch all this footage we just saw. Larry Bird was not the system. He was crucial to the system because his style of play influenced everybody else on the team to be completely unselfish with that basketball. It starts with him, and really it starts with DJ. But DJ feeding Bird feeding the next guy, it becomes contagious. So this whole I am the system and this whole accidental basketball, ISO, your turn, my turn, nah. Guess why these guys guess why they haven't won? Jordan never won when it was ISO basketball. KD never won when it was ISO basketball. The only time he won was when he was in the Golden State Warriors system. James Harden's never won. I wonder why. Anyways, guys, that's where I'm coming from. And I felt this way from, like, I don't know, 2013 on. And then to see Kobe talk about it so bluntly was awesome, because it really made me feel like, okay, yeah, I'm not the only one here. We got somebody like Kobe Bryant speaking out against this. Like, I'm not tripping. I am seeing something that is not natural in a game of basketball. And And I'm not talking about the Balco from LeBron. Anyways, I'm out of here, you guys. Thanks again for the super tip and the request to watch this. This was a great one. Great topic to discuss. So you guys put your comments down below in the in the comment section. We'll have a good old conversation like we always do. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you later for the After Dark, all right? Like the vid on the way out. Subscribe if you want more content like this. And most importantly is to be water, my friends. Peace out.